So I'd like to run through this a short presentation for SolSavvy. So the idea of SolSavvy is to connect customers with solar installers across India. As a part of this initiative, we are focusing on the Karnataka webinar, targeting all the MSME segments to help them reduce their electricity bills and also contribute to the environment. So why SolSavvy? SolSavvy is a web-based online platform serving both B2B and B2C businesses in the rooftop energy sector. SolSavvy is a product of Auroville Consulting, a non-profit organization dedicated to sustainable development. SolSavvy aligns with United Nations SDG goals located in Auroville, near Puducherry. SolSavvy is purely not-for-profit SaaS product. So mission of SolSavvy is, our mission is to facilitate a process to connect homeowners, small, mid, and large-size company, business owners with a trusted, skilled installer, enabling rooftop solar adoption and energy savings. So what we offer to all our installers, so what they benefit from SolSavvy. So we offer a profile listing. Any companies from the solar energy solutions, they can list their company profile on our website. They get featured on our platform with a professional profile, showcasing your services, projects, and testimonials, building trust and attracting leads. So we offer a free marketing, so you can enjoy free marketing support, including social media promotion and email campaigns to boost any company's visibility. We also offer SEO optimization. We optimize your profile to rank higher in search results through SolSavvy, helping customers find you easily. Apart from this, we also do lead generation process to simplify their marketing efforts. And we provide the qualified leads. That's our USP. We also conduct every month webinar state-wise. So you can approach us to initiate a webinar for your state. So it's going to be not completely free until this December 2024. So you can enjoy all these free services with SolSavvy, including profile listing, leads, digital platform onboarding, marketing, and webinars. So it's going to be completely free until December. So what we offer to a consumer. So we offer a free unlimited search for an installer profile in your local area through our website. So please visit us, www.solsavvy.in. So you can have a free unlimited search for an installer profile in your local area. We also offer free consultation for MSMEs or residential owners or decision makers. So you can approach us through email, phone number, or through our website for any free consultation. We offer a free scheduled site visit through our installers. It's completely free from an installer perspective. So you can please visit us for all these free offers provided by SolSavvy. So benefits for MSMEs, we are going to offer a free consultation for all MSME business owners and decision makers till December 2024. So connect with us for your free consultation. How to book a consultation? So please log into our website, solsavvy.in, and you can find a nearby installers with our quick search tool. So click and view installer profiles and access their dashboards instantly. Book a free consultation easily through our menu on the website sidebar. If you have any queries related to how to book a consultation, please reach out to us. We can help you with that. So we also offer the partnership opportunities for any lenders. We partner with the banks and non-banking financial sectors, and they can benefit from our extensive network and resources. So join us in advancing solar adoption in the commercial sectors. So please visit our website, solsavvy.in. Contact us for a personalized consultation, and please follow us on social media for any updates and insights. For any queries, please reach out to us after this webinar. And now we over to the a presentation from Raghu. So he's going to help us to understand the basics of solar energy solutions. Over to you, Raghu.
Thank you, Arasan. Hope all of you can see my screen.
Yeah, we are able to see this. You can make it the full screen.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, thanks. Good afternoon, everyone, and thanks for joining this webinar. Just a quick background about my company, Ibex Solar. We started about 5 years ago. I previously worked at various investment banks in USA and Canada, and thought climate change is a big problem that all of us need to solve together. So decided to come back to Bangalore, my hometown, to start a company with solar that does solar installations. So the company, our main differentiator is we not only do solar power installations, rooftop solar specifically, but we also have a solar water heater fabrication plant as well, factory, and we install solar water heaters along with the solar power systems. Okay, so let me, because most of us here are hearing about solar for the first time. I will give some background about what solar is and the journey that has taken us this far. Okay, so this screen is basically a pie chart stating how much is the total power consumption or total energy generation from various sources of electricity. As you can see, coal is still a big source of power. Then we have natural gas, which is also non-renewable and high carbon emitting a source of power. And then we have hydroelectric, which is slightly renewable, and then oil as well. At the bottom, you see solar, which is just 5%, 4.5%, and then wind is 7.2%. So this is the current snapshot. But what you see in the green is the annual growth that is happening in the various sectors. So as you can see, of all of these, solar is by far the biggest growth from the past year. So that means that there's a lot of potential and it is growing at a very grand scale. So that is why all of us need to pay attention to solar industry. And so the other, this interesting stat is talks about how much the exponential growth has happened in solar. All these golden graph lines you see is basically what was projected, what the solar will be. But the actual reality has been exponential growth, which nobody anticipated. So the reason for that we'll talk about, we'll discuss shortly. But this is the amazing amount of growth that has happened in the industry. And the growth is so high that, as you can see, solar is projected to overtake all these other sources of electricity very shortly. So, hydroelectricity will be overtaken by 28. The big targets are 2030 and 2032, where it'll overtake even natural gas and coal, which is still the highest source of electricity for across the world. So why is solar becoming more adapting, and adaptation has increased a lot in solar. I mean, obviously we know it is a green source of electricity and renewable and low carbon footprint. All those good things are there, but something that not a lot of people talk about is the scalability of it. So suppose if you have a house and you require only three kilowatts of electricity. So an installer like us would just come in and install 5 panels to generate the 3 kilowatts electricity. If you want 5 kilowatt or 4.6 kilowatt, we'll install 8 panels. So it's just adding 2 more panels or 3 more panels. And likewise, we can scale it up to 14 panels will make it 8 kilowatts. And if you want 50 kilowatt, which is for a typical commercial installation, we can add just 86 panels, and we cover your roof, and that will take care of your 50 kilowatts of electricity, right? And the roof is, as such, it won't be used. So you're making use of that not used space to generate electricity that you require in your building. So the scalability is one of the big advantages with us. Okay, so we understood the aspect of our solar. So let's dive into what a typical solar plant will look like. So the main components in the solar system is it's obviously the solar panels which we see on the roof. Then there's something called as an inverter. Inverter is basically the system which converts the solar electricity generated by the panel, which is in DC format, direct current format, that is transformed into AC current, alternating current, which is what most of our equipments use in our houses and in commercial buildings. And then we have batteries, which is basically a source of which is a storage of electricity in case it's needed for the background for the backup. We also, if it is a on-grid system, there's also a bidirectional meter which tracks what electricity is being imported from Bescom and what is being exported to Bescom. And then you have minor components like module mounting structures, which is also a critical part, especially in order to make sure that your system is working for 25 years and in a good shape. So we need to have a very strong structure to support the panels. And likewise, even the wiring, there are lots of AC cables, DC cables, and a lot of safety devices which we use, like MCBs and AJBs and circuit breakers and whatnot. So all those electrical components are also a critical part of our system. And diving into the different types of solar panels, which is the most visible component of a system anyway, is so the solar panels. Generally, at a high level, there are two types of solar panels. You have the polycrystalline, which is mostly outdated now. Not many people use it. And then we have monocrystalline, which is what is being widely being adapted now. Within monocrystalline, we have subcategories now. So we have half-cut cells, which is basically the panels are cut in the middle, and in order to increase electricity generation. And then we also have bifacial panels, which increases the efficiency of the solar panels by absorbing the electricity, absorbing the sunlight that is reflected on the roof as well. So there are different innovations within that concept. And then there's also within the monocrystalline, we hear about panels being a P-type or N-type. So if you are from a science background or engineering background, you might have studied about how a semiconductor is doped. Basically, you can dope it with a positive element or with a N as a negative element. So depending on what you use for doping, we have different types of panels as well. Right now, the P-type is a lot more common because that is what was being done for a long duration. But N-type has been picking up quite steadily. TopCon is the industry term, and that has been picking up quite a bit in the past 1 year or so. And nowadays, the more prevalent thing to use is the N-type. And if you have a good installer, they would know about these, and they would give you the options. N-type is a bit more expensive, but as you can see in the pros of N-type, so it is less susceptible to a defect called as light-induced degradation. So it'll last you longer for 25 years, less degradation, longer lifespan, and a little more efficient compared to the P-type panels. So if you are talking to an installer in the future, make sure your panels are N-type. So that's your takeaway for this. And we have talking about inverters. Inverters is like a heart in a solar system. So you have, like I said earlier, so we have one type which is string inverter. String inverters, basically we have multiple panels, multiple solar panels which are connected to a single inverter. The main disadvantage with this is in case there's an inverter failure, your entire setup of panels will be not producing anything. So it is a single point of failure. So we want to avoid that part. So we have something called as micro inverters as well. Enphase is a very big player in this space, and it's more prevalent in the residential segment, where each panel gets its own inverters. And the advantage with this is if one of the panels is not performing, or even the inverter is not performing, other generation from other panels are not affected. And as you can see in the description here, if one panel has a shadow issue, it'll generate only 80%, but other panels will not be affected by that generation. So it is a big advantage. Typically, we see in our installations micro inverters generate about 10% more than a string inverter. But of course, cost-wise, there is a little more expensive as well. Okay, so then talking about types of installations, typically you would have heard about off-grid, on-grid, and hybrid. Off-grid is let me just give you some more background about these things. Off-grid is more prevalent in the rural areas. Let's say like if you have a farmhouse, we do a lot of projects for farmhouses where the BESCOM grid is not very reliable. So in that case, we have a battery backup that will store the electricity and that will support your power requirements in in case of a power failure. So that is the off-grid setup. On-grid is more widely used, widely adopted because it is less expensive and it reduces electricity bill at a much better rate than of off-grid setup. You have in urban areas, for example, we have a mostly reliable BESCOM lines, so we don't have a huge amount of power breaks. So in that case, urban areas on-grid systems are used. And then the minor disadvantage with the on-grid system is in case of night times, there's no power generation, so you don't have a source of backup. And also the fact that during the daytime there's no supply from the grid, even the on-grid system will have to will shut down for a security for safety reasons. So that's a minor disadvantage of on-grid system. And then we have hybrid, which combines the best of both worlds. It also basically it has a capability to export to the grid, and it also has a battery base to support your backup requirements. But of course, that comes with a disadvantage that it's much more expensive. Okay, so we are about 3-4 slides remaining. So I just want to spend some time explain to you how the different types of systems work. Yeah, so on-grid system that we talked about earlier, the way it will work is, so your solar panels in the daytime, solar panels generate electricity that will flow into your inverter. Inverter converts DC to AC, and that will go to your main MCB of the house, and then from the circuit from the breaker panel, it will go to your house, which is your load, and if there's in case there's any excess, that will be exported to the grid. So in the nighttime, when there is no solar generation happening, so your house is basically running from the electricity grid. So it will flow from the grid to the meter, and then to your house. And let's suppose we have a hybrid system which has a battery base as well. So in that case, what happens is the DC electricity which is generated by solar that will flow into your charge controller, gets stored in the battery, and then excess will flow into the inverter that gets converted, and then it will go to your circuit breaker, and then to your load. In case you have excess, that will get exported to the grid, like with the on-grid system. And in case of in the night time, when you have sufficient backup in the battery, so your house is basically running from the battery. Okay, and let's say your battery is completely depleted, and it's in night time as well. So what happens in that case is basically there's no power in the battery, so it has to take from the system has to take it from the grid. So it will pull from the grid and flow into your load. And let's say there is in the night time, you have sufficient battery backup as well. So in that case, like we explained earlier, so it will flow from the battery to your. Okay, so just to conclude, so what is the basic? What are the main concepts that we learned in this presentation? Is what is the scalability aspect of solar makes it easier for anyone to adapt. If you could be a street side vendor at a street side vendor in a village, remote village, you can adapt solar. You could be a multi-billion-dollar company like Coca-Cola or Facebook or Google. Even you can adapt solar. So it's a democratization of electricity generation. Then you have the main component. We talked about the main components of solar system. We talked about different modules and different types of inverters and types of solar installations as well. So in case you have any other further questions, I'm happy to answer them. My contacts numbers are here. You can go to the website as well. Because we are, as part of this webinar, we want to offer a discount to our customers or your potential customers by giving a 2% discount in our total project cost. Please reach out to us if you have anything. Thank you, Arun. I'll give it back to you.
Thank you so much, Raghu. Uh, Thank you, Raghu. And we are here to receive Mr. Harsha. Harsha?
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, yes, Harsha. So
Yes.
you can share your screen, Harsha.
Arson, how much time do I have
You
to present?
can have 10 to 15 minutes.
Okay, just sharing my screen. So it says host disabled attendee screen sharing.
Yeah,
Can you
fine.
enable that for me?
You are a co-host now.
Can you see my screen?
Yes, we are able to see your screen, Harsha.
Hi, just I'll try to be on time. So we can keep the questions at the end, and probably I'll take some questions. I've kept the slides very low, and I mean a small number of slides. And if you have any questions, we can actually probably discuss in the Q&A question sessions. So myself, I'm Harsha Kuntur. I'm from EcoSoch Solar. We are from Bangalore. Just to give you everyone, we started our career. I started my career in solar from Auroville. I was part of Auroville for many years. We're still kind of associated with Auroville on day-to-day basis as well. So just to give that information. So today we want to see, one of the topics that we want to cover today is how do you choose a right installer? What are the things that anyone needs to look at before you make a decision to go with someone? The other aspects is to look at financial feasibilities, credit lines, uh, what are available in the market out today. I'll cover some of that, and also the Karnataka state policy. Primarily, broadly, there are a lot of other minor things, but broadly, try to cover main important points out there as well. So the first question of how to choose a right installer. Before I go, I just want to thank Raghu. Raghu covered most of the things in solar, the basics of it, right? There's many components that uh, are involved in doing a right project. So, so I'm hoping that all of you kind of got a broad understanding of how the solar rooftop system works. So, with keeping that in mind, I'll just cover some of these things which might be important for you to choose an installer. Right now, uh, you have a good selection of materials and idea about some part of solar, and you want to choose the right installer, right? So one of the things which Raghu had actually covered is of the choice of material. This plays a huge role in terms of your costing, the long-term durability of your project, uh, and also the cost of years of warranty. Some of the inverters come for a higher warranty, like 25 years. So it's important that you understand the durability durability of all these things: panels, inverters, structures, um, electrical cabling. So the bunch of them are there that Raghu was covering that you can actually look at as well. The second one is a financial stability of a company. This is something that you keep seeing it. There are many companies we have seen in the industry. I've been in here for more than 14 years in solar, and I've seen many companies come and go. It's very important that the modules that you are selecting or the inverters that you are selecting are the company, the installer themselves. you know how are they placed? Are they just started recently, or they've been in industry for some time? How are they financially? How stable is a company? It's something that's very important. Depending on the size, right? If it's a very small project, you may not need to look at uh, the financial stability of the company, meaning whether they should be doing 100 crores of projects, right? If a project itself is like few lakhs of rupees, depending on size of the project, you may want to see whether that company has that much of withholding power to be a part of your solar journey for next 25 years. Something that you should look at. The other thing is competitive pricing. Of course, there's so many companies now. Definitely, one should look at competitive pricing, keeping in mind that the specifications of both the vendors are almost same, and their installations are also of good quality as well, right? So keeping you know same specs, uh, who's offering the better price? I think that's a good way to look at that as well. That one of those components that you should look at before we choose a right installer. The other one is a good quality. This is very, very important. The as Raghu was mentioning, some of these inverters come with a higher warranties. Inverters also come with a higher warranties now. Uh, but what if your installation is really bad? If you have just done, you put this best of the best panels, best of the best inverters, best of the best structures, but the installation is so bad that that might eventually the system might fail, inverters might break down, the structure might fall apart, panels could fly, and we have seen all these things in India. I mean, happening in many installations. So it'll be good for you to assess the installer on the quality of their installations. One way is to really ask the installers to take you to their sites to um, for you to assess, and you probably might have many questions when you see the site, rather than just talk to them over the phone. Based on that, then you can take an informed decision. you know um, so the other one is a flexible financing. uh, this is something that many companies have started now, not every company, but many companies have started doing it. So one of the we provide finance as well, and I've covered part of that in next slides. So there are loans that are available in the markets. If you feel that you can't afford to pay everything in one shot, you can take 6 months EMI, 1 year EMIs, or 5 years EMIs that are available. Typically, many companies uh, also offer like 6 months to 1 year without any interest from your side. Um, so they will have an arrangement with the financer to pay the processing fee and other things, so you don't have to pay as a consumer. But these options are available. You can definitely look at them if finance is a constraint. Even if the cost of the finance is little higher, maybe the project, than for you to invest, I think sometimes it's better to do that, because you are splitting the risk for 6 months and 1 year. You don't need to pay all the money immediately from your pockets. So that be something that you should consider. The other one is a proven experience of the installers. If the installer um, is someone who just joined in the industry and they want to do. Now these days we are seeing those kind of companies as well. People who are regular electricians, electrical contractors, are coming to the industry to do it, and it's not a bad thing, it's a good thing. The only problem in that is, uh, some of these people may not have ever got trained in working on the DC side of solar panels, so they may not even understand uh, uh, what is required, to do a good installation, right? You may want to really, even if it's a new installers, and by all means, I think you can go with the new installers, but ensure that they have enough experience as a person, as individually, has worked in some other company, has got some experience of it, so you can actually then go ahead with those installers. Definitely there are companies which are been in the industry for a long time. We are one of those companies. uh, Been there. We have seen in our own installations many failures. We improved upon that, year on year. So we are literally, what we offer today is something we think would last much longer than what we would have probably offered 5 years ago. But uh, but again, this all comes with experience, and many of the installers, I mean, even new installers, are really doing really good work. uh, Definitely, you can do that as well. But two criteria there you should look at is, you can ask how many installations they have, or how many years of experience that a person who is promoter of the company, or who is the main technical head, has, so you can get a good quality one. Apart from choosing of materials, these things definitely matter. One of the points that I've not covered is also in the slide is the AMC, how long the plant is going to, how long the installer is going to maintain the plant. Is he giving you the cleaning options for your panels, taking the preventive maintenance, breakdown maintenance, proactive maintenance? I mean, there are many maintenance components. That's something that you should definitely look into when you are choosing one of the installers. This is something that I've just put in a slide. A good reviews, ask for the installers to get them any reviews from the customer. This is a review from one of our customers on the Google reviews of us page. Is something that you definitely can ask. This is one of those points that you can use to assess whether it's a good installer for you or not. On the financial feasibilities and credit lines, these are various options, and I'll go quickly on this. Uh, there is, when you look at a project, when you are investing some amount, does it make anything sense for you to make that investment, right? So I'll just give an example. Let's say that you have a building which is consuming 400 units, and you want to go for solar there to offset it. We would suggest a 3 kilowatt system, roughly taking, actually it's not 250. I think we can do it even at one 175 square feet of space is also okay to do it. Sometimes you need to more space because of the walkway issues and shadows and other things as well. But assume that you have some 200 square feet of space, and you want to install 3 kilowatt to offset your 400 units. You can choose that. And let's assume that the cost of this system is around 2 lakh rupees. This is, I've taken an example of a residential project. If it's a commercial MSME project, this cost would further come down. You can actually do it, a 3 kilowatt system, you can actually do it within 1.5 lakhs, if it's a MSME, because the scale of the projects are much bigger, so the cost would come down. But for this example, I've taken 2 lakh rupees, and let's assume that you are paying 7 rupees per unit cost for every unit that you save by generating from solar. A 3 kilowatt system, maybe roughly, let's say, generates 360 units. You will have monthly saving of 2,500 rupees, an annual saving of 30,000 rupees, and you will have payback of roughly, I'm saying, around 6.6 years. Here the assumption is that tariff rate didn't change, but tariff rate definitely changes year on year. if it, and usually it increases. I mean, only this year was an exception because the government actually reduced it, but usually we see a trend of higher uh, charges. So for a smaller project at a much higher cost than what MSME would pay, the payback is coming at 6.6 rupees, but that might further come down for MSMEs. We have seen one of our customers have a payback even to 3 years, right? So that's so you may want to really uh, ask your installer to give you the data on that. So the other one is a loan amount. Okay. So the other financial options for you is, one, you invest yourself, which we covered here. Second is you can actually take a loan from multiple banks. Today there are public sector banks like SBI. They're coming forward to provide the loans, but usually they take a long time to give you the loan. The one which has worked out for us, for our customers, is SIDBI. SIDBI does MSME loans, which are available at a very low interest rate. The only criteria for that is you need to have at least 3 years of profitability, to show it to them, and you would be automatically eligible, and you can actually do solar of any capacity, right? And these are all collateral free loans. You don't need to put any money from your side as a collateral. These are all, the asset itself is taken by the banks, so you would not have to invest anything, but you have to pay monthly EMIs for them. A good project will be something where the EMI amount that you pay is less than the savings that you get from electricity bill. Then you are cash positive from the day one. Without investing anything, you're saving money, right? So there are multiple NBFCs also which are giving you this loan facilities today. The other option is OPEX model. This is something of a very interesting for many MSMEs that I would definitely want you to consider. In OPEX, in loan, you are liable to pay the loan amount. In OPEX model, you're not liable for anything, and you start saving on the day one. There are third party developers who are interested now in investing on the rooftops, and we have tied up with few of them as well, who are willing to put the money on your roof, or money on setting up a solar power plant on your roof, and then sign up an agreement for you for 10 to 15 years. And the tariff rates they would usually give 2 rupees are higher savings for you on whatever you are already paying to the BESCOM, right? So this depends on the size of the project, uh, the BESCOM tariff rates, and also tenure. Some customers want only for 10 years to give them as a lease on the OPEX, and some people are okay for taking long term. In either case, the your savings would start from the day one, and you could actually go green without any investment from your side. On the Karnataka state policy, these are some of the net metering amounts that they do. These are, they pay like 3 rupees 4 paisa per unit for any excess energy that you generate and give it to them. Most people don't go for solar to get this amount from BESCOM, right? They go for solar uh, to save uh, the energy that you consume from BESCOM. So by having solar, you're avoiding some input from BESCOM, some import from BESCOM. Usually savings come from there, but in case if you happen to generate more power, then you'll get this much of tariff rate. SRTPV is allowed. It's a solar rooftop. They don't allow ground mounted in Karnataka. That's not true in Tamil Nadu, but in Karnataka they are very specific that it has to be on the rooftops. Um, Third party investments are allowed. Till last year, third party investments were not allowed. This financial year, I think in April or May, the new KRC regulation actually is allowing for the others to invest. So you can actually go for OPEX models. Captive consumption plans are allowed. Here, there's no net metering. You can actually set up a plant. You don't want to deal with the BESCOM. You can actually put a self-consumption plants. Uh, as well. Whatever you generate, you consume. If you don't want to, there's no consumption in a factory, the solar switches off. So that is allowed as well. People do the self-consumption plant if they want to consider open access uh, plants. If they have open access somewhere else, means they're buying power from renewable sources from outside their factory, then the only option is to go for captive consumption. Uh, Anyway, on the metering, I think we covered, it's net metering and gross meterings are allowed for all consumers. Uh, Carport structures are allowed as well. Although the ground mount is not allowed, they allow the carport structures. So that's all I have. I'd be happy to take any questions if there are any in the audience.
Uh, Thank you so much, Harsha, Kuntur. That was very insightful how OPEX model can now help the MSMEs. If you have any questions, please can ask Harsha or Raghu.
Also, you can always reach out to us. If you have any projects in mind and you want to us to assess the sites or assess
Okay.
the feasibility of solar on your roofs, we can always do
Mhm.
that, and we are more than willing to invest on your plans if you want us to do it. Usually, third-party investments Um, are feasible around like 100 200 kilowatt is where many at least 200 kilowatt many uh, developers come forward for that investments. Of course, you also have your friends and family, right, to invest onto these plans. This is something that I'm seeing now in last 1 year. Even the regular investors, not the seasoned investors, are coming forward to put money on solar plants.
Uh, yeah, Harsha. So that's the idea of SolSavi to wanted to connect the consumers with the installers. So hopefully, we see more customers are coming in. We are open for Q&A session.
Hello. Hi, good afternoon.
Yeah.
Yeah, my name is John. Um,
Yeah, please go ahead, John.
yeah, Mr. Harsha, can you explain about whether in Karnataka can we do DG synchronization for commercial and industry?
Right. Okay. So actually, the DG synchronization is allowed now in Karnataka. Recently, in I think June order, they gave permission for the synchronization of DG as well. So this is very important in places where there are a lot of power cuts. Maybe Bangalore may not be the right place, the Bangalore urban, but Bangalore rural are anywhere in Karnataka where there are frequent power cuts and you've got a manufacturing plant, and the your plants are running 24/7 with a high loads, then DC synchronization is something that you could do as well. We have actually done one of the plants in on Old Madras Road. It's a 400 kilowatt system. It's synchronized with the DG. So here, what happens is you can save 30% of your at least 60% of the diesel consumption. You can actually save going solar. Synchronizing with that. So instead of your plant running on diesel during the power cuts, at least 60% could be saved from solar during the sunny hours.
We are still open for Q&A session. Please go ahead if you have any queries to address.
Mr. Harsha, John again here. I have one more question now. Yeah, we are all aware of that, net metering is allowed till 2 megawatt for a rooftop. But what if a customer needs a 4 megawatt of system to be installed on roof, but still he wants to do net metering?
Right. So, I mean, the one of the things also, John, is the maximum you are allowed in Karnataka is 100% of your sanction load. If your sanction load is 4 megawatts, actually technically you are allowed, but you need to get a permission from regulatory commission beyond 2 megawatts. But also my understanding is the tariff rate might change at that time. What savings that you will have. I have seen up to 2 megawatts. Beyond that, they've said that you need to get a permission from regulatory commission. Okay. If you don't have any questions, maybe we can.
Hello. Mr. Capello, do you have any questions? Mr. Krishna? Hello, Sandhya. Do you have anything that you'd like to address here? Sandhya? Sudipta? Tarak Verma? We are still open for Q&A session. I think Rishana Santapalle. Mr. Meg, do you have any questions? Okay, so we'll be sharing the feedback form about this webinar.
Sure.
Anyway, thank you everyone for joining us.
Thanks for having us, Harsha.
Thank you, Harsha. Thank you, Raghu.